Hey guys, welcome back to another Motivation Monday podcast for the week of July 31st, 2017. So, this week I'm going to talk to you about something that has to do with practicing and sort of planning out your practicing routine for the week. And it's going to be a little bit counterintuitive because this week I would like you to do less than you did last week. Now, let me clarify a little bit. I don't actually mean less time. More time is always better. The more time you spend on the instrument, the better. And I believe that pretty much universally. The more time you have the instrument in your hands and you are performing tasks related to getting better at music, the better off you're going to be. And the more comfortable you're going to feel with your instrument in your hands or sitting down at your instrument or whatever, depending on what you play. What I'm talking about is I want you to actually do less in your practice routine, but I want you to concentrate more on fewer things. So this is something that I've really been exploring lately. I've been guilty in the past of working on one thing for 10 minutes, then going to another thing, and then 10 minutes on that, go to the next thing. And at the end of the practice session, I really haven't gotten much better at any of those things that I've bounced around to. So you can imagine, let's say I practice for 3 hours and I spend 10 to 15 minutes on each concept or part of my practice routine. That's a lot of stuff, but I'm really not getting deep into anything that I'm doing, right? So let's say you've got 5 or 6 things on your list to accomplish each day that you want to devote part of your practice routine to. I say cut it in half or even cut it down further, you know what I mean? And spend the same amount of time practicing, but do a lot less and get a heck of a lot deeper in what you are doing. Now, you have to remember, I talk about this all the time. Getting better at music is a lifelong journey. So you may feel like you're falling behind. Wow, I need to be working on this, and I need to be working on this, and I need to be working on this. But you got to remember that there's time for all of that. If you think about your practice routine in terms of years instead of weeks and months, you'll start to think about it in a more healthy way. And you won't feel like, oh, geez, I'm really falling behind on this thing that I know somebody else is practicing. Well, you've got to kind of go at your own pace and you'll get around to working on that. The issue with trying to work on everything all at once is that you're going to kind of half-ass everything that you do, right? I mean, you're going to just skim the surface of those 6 or 7 things instead of really getting into the inner workings of maybe 2 or 3 things. Now, this also comes with another thing is that you're really going to have to be very repetitive in your practice routine, meaning that those couple of concepts that you are working on, you're going to be playing them, hundreds of times over the week. So you kind of have to get into the right mindset there too, because it's easy to get bored and it's easy to sort of think about, man, if somebody was listening to me practice and they heard me play this 30 times in a row, they would think something's wrong with me. They would think that I'm not picking this up quick enough. But I guarantee you, the best musicians out there are not only playing it 30, 40 times in a row, they're probably playing it 100 times in a row. So this goes for anything that you're working on. I've been working out of the Jerry Bergonzi Melodic Patterns book this week, and I'm working over the tune Solar, doing some melodic permutation stuff. And I mean, I literally played this stuff to death this week, and it really helped. At the end of the week, I really feel like I know my way around what he was trying to teach me, and that's a really great feeling. Back in the day, I would work on that stuff for maybe 20 minutes and then stop, and then at the end of the week, it would be like I was still struggling to get this concept on my fingers, and that resulted in me not being able to translate it into my playing in any meaningful way whatsoever. Now that I'm practicing this way and I'm spending maybe an hour on this instead of just the 20 minutes, I actually feel like it's becoming a part of my playing. I played a gig last night and I could actually hear some of the stuff coming out, and it was just a really great feeling. And I know that I'm sort of on the right path with this doing less. trying to hit less of those bullet points, but getting a heck of a lot deeper. All right. So try that this week. Let me know how it goes for you. It's going to feel weird at first. You're going to feel like you're not getting everything done that you need to, but then I think it will pay off after a couple of weeks or a couple of months of doing this when you realize, wow, those couple of concepts are really, really, deep seated into my mind and into my playing. And the other beautiful thing that we don't always realize when we're doing stuff at the time is that any skill that you build is going to translate into other things that you work on. So the deeper you get into the concepts that you're working on this week, the next concept that you go to work on will be easier for you because you've developed such a great foundation from whatever you're working on, right? Anything you work on in jazz or in music sort of leads into other areas of jazz and music. So while you may be afraid that you're neglecting some other things, I guarantee you that the deep work that you're doing is really going to pay off when you go to do these other things. So try it this week. Try it this week. The same amount of time or more time than you normally spend, but half or a third as many concepts that you're actually working on. An easy way to think about it is that you're bouncing around less during your practice time. All right, let me know how that goes, and we'll talk to you on Friday with a regular episode. Have an awesome week, everybody. Stay inspired.